Hey y'all, welcome to Girl Meets Green. My name's Norma, your host or whatever, and today we're talking Heartbreak High. I wanted to give you Darren vibes. It's not really feeling Darren vibes, so I guess I'll just do this for the intro and then take it off because I'm not feeling it for this whole thing. My curls are kind of dead already because it's been a couple days. But I mean, you know, we got the do-rag going. This is definitely gonna be like my new style though. I have to figure out how he gets this so to the side. Okay, I'm back. This looks a little better, feels a little better, so we're just gonna go with this. In episode 1, we meet Amory and Harper, and they are BFFs, and they have created the incest map, which is basically a map that tracks all of the sexual encounters of their people at this school. This map gets discovered, so that's how we start off this season. This map gets discovered. Amory is blamed for it. Harper comes back to school. She's super punk rock now, right? Before she was just like basic blonde chick. Super punk rock. Amory is like, what's going on? She's like, don't talk to me. Don't want nothing to do with you. Get away from me. Amory's like, what? Confusion. So yeah, now she's an outcast because everyone finds out she made the map. And you know, obviously people are in trouble with their parents. Now they all have to take this sex ed class, which they call, it's SLTs. They call it sluts. So now they all have to take this class. So yeah, they're not happy with her. She has no friends. But then we have the wonderful Darren and Quinn, who basically become her friends. They become this dope trio. We also have Malachi, who is a new student and gets put into sluts by accident. They confused him with a guy named Malcolm. But you know, he likes Amory, so he stays for her. Darren's home life effectively kind of sucks. Their mom is married to a new man. They're half white, half black. Mom has found another white guy. This guy, not so fond of Darren and who they are. Makes it very difficult on them. They start to live with their dad. So, furthering the storyline of Darren, they begin a little chemistry vibing with Cash, our Eshe. And let me tell you something. If I was Australian, I would love me some Eshes if they look like Cash. He's just so cute, the little dimples. I could do without the mullet, but I know it's the Eshe vibe, so I guess it's fine. But yeah, so in Eshe, if you didn't know, it's like a hoodlum. That's what it said online. But it's basically like, you know, the drug selling kid at school. The little criminal. There's like some sort of like, almost kind of like a bonfire party, but it's like a cemetery party. Like it's at a cemetery, everyone's chilling, having a good time. Amory goes with Darren and Quinn. Dusty, who has been Amory's crush and is one of the people in sluts or whatever, one of the people that was on the map, ends up kissing her, but then he actually likes Harper and is like trying to get with Harper. So it's a little bit like, what's happening here? I am confused. But yeah, so she's like, oh my god, this is gonna happen. Then we also have Ant, who is another favorite of mine. He's so wholesome and cute. Such a gentleman. So at the end of the party, it gets broken up by cops and everybody's running, and they run to this gate and he helps all the girls up first. So cute, so gentlemanly of him. I don't care, guys. I love gentlemanly things, okay? Assume I can't climb a fence. Assume I can't open my own door. Assume all of those things and be a gentleman for me, because I'm a thank you for it and I'm all about it. Moving right along to episode 2. So episode 2 is about Amory trying to get into a party that Dusty and his band are throwing. In Dusty's band is Spider, who for some reason like strongly dislikes Amory. I think the reality is he loves her and he's pissed that she don't love him back. So he's being like class A douchery. He is, I've never said that before, but like he is so nasty, mean, terrible human being, etc. She's trying to get like a wristband. They're selling wristbands. They're like raising money for like a women's organization for, you know, on behalf of their sluts class. And Spider won't give her a wristband. So Malachi tries to give her his, he gives her his, which I guess doesn't mean anything. I don't know. She shows up at the party. There's like a picture of her that says, don't let her in. So they don't. She sees Malachi. Malachi's, come on. So he takes her around back and they hop over a fence into the house. The pool's right there. She falls into the pool. Darren shows up and they're like, dude, I texted you. Did you not get my text? I opened the back gate for you. So now she's all wet. In this episode, we're also introduced to the relationship between Quinn and Sasha. Quinn likes Sasha, and so they start dating. Sasha's not very understanding of Quinn's situation. Quinn reveals herself to be autistic. Sasha at first seems understanding, then it just gets weird, then she gets inconsiderate, then she's like trying to mommy her and she's like, never asked you to do that, like please don't, like that's not what this should be. And it just doesn't end well. Quinn has this event she's been waiting to go to forever, and Sasha basically ruins it for her because she's like, oh, I'll go with you and then we'll go, you know, to the ball, which we'll talk about. But she like ruins the experience for her because she's just acting like she wants to be anywhere but there. Sasha's no good for her. Quinn deserves way better. So I'm praying that this isn't a situation in the next season. At the end of this episode, we find out that Harper and Dusty have had relations. He does like, he says some sort of like funny thing when he's about to perform, letting on that they did do it. Amory is upset. Harper goes after her. She's like, what the heck? Harper's like, no, listen. And she's like, I don't want to. And the end of this episode begins the friendship between Malachi and Amory. He likes her, but you know, like they start off as friends. So we get that at the end of this episode. Episode 2 ended with Cash and his friends seemingly taking a car from that house. And episode 3, we see them stealing from a store. They basically drive through the window with the car, steal a bunch of clothes. They give it to Cash to hold. Later on, we see the police coming to try to talk to Cash. Grandma's like, he ain't here, but she covers for him. He's in the bath. She's like, the police just came for you. Figure your stuff out. We ain't doing this again. So Grandma's an OG. Cash is a little criminal, as we can see. But yeah, episode 3 is kind of more storyline development. Harper shows up at Amory's house to apologize. But tells her like, this doesn't mean we're friends. I just wanted to say sorry for that. They get into an argument because again, Amory is like, Harper, like tell me what I did so I can fix it. Like I just want us to be fixed. Like tell me what I did. And basically she's like, no, like fuck you. Like they get into an argument. Because of this argument, Harper runs to Dusty crying. They do it and now they're, I guess, officially a couple. Amory loses her V card to Malachi, and then the next day Malachi is there with flowers and a balloon and a thingy that says, will you be my girlfriend? Like whole nine. I got a little ahead of myself. The girlfriend thing was in episode 4, but like, you know, that's, it ends with like basically them having sex with their respective guys in episode 4. What I liked was it wasn't made a huge deal in terms of like Amory being like, Malachi, that was weird, like, oh my god, no, like, what is wrong with him? She's just talking to her friends. She's like, it was a bit much, but like, whatever. So she's with him. But they get into an argument fairly quickly because the guys are ragging on Malachi, you know, his basketball teammates in the locker room, and he kind of falls into it and makes a comment. And Spider makes a comment in front of Amory, making it known that he said something. So now she's upset. She's like, didn't think you were that type of guy. Corny, lame. No thanks. So this episode is the sleigh ball. If you don't know, if you haven't seen Pose, which is also a great show I want to talk about, the ball is basically where, I'm gonna say like queer, so like LGBTQ plus people connect there, get to be themselves. It's kind of like a competition with different themes. So like an all white theme, so you like get on stage and strut your all white stuff to try to like win trophies, or like, you know, it'll be like royalty, and so, you know, it's like different things like that. But anywho, it's the sleigh ball. Apparently they're all going to this, which I'm like, how did high schoolers get informed about this? They decide they're going to pregame at Darren's house before the ball. Cash shows up, Darren lets him in. Malachi shows up. Quinn helped him like write an apology to give to Amory, so it's really funny because he's like reading it off his hand or something, his arm. So she kind of forgives him. I loved this montage, was everything. I loved seeing the group's friendship. I loved seeing Cash just like doting over Darren. It was so adorable. They help Cash and Malachi get a little bit more queer with their clothing for the event. They put like a thong over Cash's eye to hide his black eye, which is so funny. He looks so cute. And he put like this white mesh shirt on, which I'm pretty sure was from Darren as well. But very cute. They're pre-gaming, having a good time. It's so cute. Quinn goes to like take a picture of the group, and in the picture Cash is just like staring at Darren, just like So I love them. As if you can't tell, I'm obsessed with them. So we get police brutality in this episode. Well, let me backtrack back to Darren and Cash because I love them so much. So Darren gets up on stage for the like all white competition and they're strutting their stuff. And they don't win. They got all 10s except for one person because that person was like, you're not wearing white. So they get down. Their friends are like greeting them, giving them hugs. Cash sees them and he's just smiling, so excited to go up to them, but then sees them talking to like a guy, and so he's all like discouraged and walks away. Darren goes to find him and he's like, yeah, I just saw you with the dude, I didn't want to interrupt. He's like, oh my god, no, like me and him never. Cash is like, let me make it up to you. He takes Darren's hand, they run through and they steal someone's penis trophy or whatever the heck it was. Very, very cute. Then Cash asks if he can kiss Darren. Darren says yes and they kiss! And then they have a wonderful rest of the night. Back to our police brutality situation. Malachi mouths off to a cop. Shouldn't have. Still no excuse. Okay, guys? Still no excuse. The cop body slams him to the floor. And then everybody starts freaking out. So the cops are like, you know, it turns into like this back and forth with the cops and the people there. Then of course our wonderful gentleman aunt like pushes a cop off him, runs to Malachi and like picks him up and starts running with him. And it just, I love Aunt. I love him. Like, always putting himself in the line of fire. We love to see it. You better. That's the type of friend we all need to have in our lives. Aunt deserves better from these people. They run off and Amory is like, who recorded it? And Aunt's like, I have it. She's like, send it to me. Like, we need to post this. And Malachi's like, no, like, don't. Like, I know how this is gonna go. She accidentally posts it. Now, is Shorty an influencer? Because how did that, like, she accidentally posted and deletes it immediately after. And it like already gets out. Like, how does that even happen when you're just a regular schmo? And she deleted it literally a second later. Like, that was not enough time for anyone to see it. So I don't know. Also, like, there was mad people there. You think that y'all were the only ones with a recording of it? And this episode ends with Harper and Dusty being weirdos, taking advantage of Malachi's fragile state. And having a threesome. I don't have words for it. Listen, it's the judgment isn't about the threesome. You know, like, hey, if she wants to sleep with every guy that Shorty likes, like, that's her prerogative. Maybe wait until he's not on drugs and intoxicated, until he's dealt with his trauma, then y'all can talk about it. Episode 5, the threesome is revealed. Malachi is struggling with what happened, the whole police brutality thing, but he does not want to talk about it. He's just kind of avoiding it, hoping it goes away, wanting to just live life like it was before. We also have Darren and Cash attempt to go on their first date, but Granny interrupts. They go hang out with Granny and her people playing poker. Very cute. Darren tries to kiss Cash again. Cash shuts them down, and so they kind of just walk off. But then Cash invites Darren over to his house. They make out. Cash is like, oh, I'm just tired. Can we just lay here? So they like sleep together, literally sleeping in the bed. Darren tries to start something and Cash is like, no, like, and Darren does get a little bit pushy, you know, like, oh, so you don't like me? And he's like, no, I just like don't want to do that yet, or whatever he says. And Darren's kind of just like, you don't like me, and he leaves. So a little bit much, but we'll get into that some more. Episode 6, Amory decides to throw a party. Well, Darren says she's throwing a party. Everyone is feeling her. I can't even remember why everyone was vibing with her, but everyone's vibing with her. So she has a party. Everybody's there. Dusty. Harper. Dusty like breaks up with Harper because basically he's like hurt about the threesome. He like says she wanted it too much. I don't know. And then she makes this big speech on the basketball court shaming him about how he felt. And so they're not on good terms. So now he likes Amory. And of course Amory's eating it up. So they're about to do their thing, but little do they know, Harper just found out she has chlamydia, which means likely Malachi and Dusty have it. So Harper breaks into the party to break them up, separate that whole situation. When Harper does that, they go outside. Malachi's on the roof, about to jump off the roof into the pool. Everyone's trying to stop him. They're like, this is stupid, and people are egging him on. And so then we have a character I've not mentioned at all, Missy, who was also in Sluts with them. She's at this party. She brings her brother along, and they are, I don't know if them and Malachi are like Native American. I think that's what they are. Forgive me if it's not. But they are all of the same ethnicity. And the brother sneaks up on the roof behind him and basically grabs him before he can jump. And he just starts crying. And he's like, let me go. Like, he's basically freaking out. So then Malachi ends up going with Missy's brother, like camping. And if you don't know the culture, you're just like, okay, so he just went camping and now he's fine. But I was reading the comments of a review video I was watching, and I guess in that culture, like, going to be one with nature is how they, like, not deal with these things, but it's how they kind of, like, recalibrate or, like, you know, start back at one, like, dealing with situations. So he goes with her brother. That really helps him. He comes back feeling better. Episode 7. So JoJo, who is actually the teacher for sluts, gets accused of sleeping with Amory. And so there's like an investigation launch. She's sent out of the school. Obviously, it's found not to be true. The teacher comes back, but basically quits because the principal never back. And she's kind of like, you knew that, like, I was better than that. And the principal's just kind of like, kids don't like you. Like, you need to accept that. If not, you shouldn't be a teacher, blah, blah, blah. Like, just shutting down a great teacher, as tends to happen with administration at schools these days. So, very relevant, if I do say so myself. They believe that it's Harper. Amory confronts her. Harper admits to it. And so now Harper's the outcast and everyone loves Amory. The sluts class finds out that JoJo has resigned, so they hold a lock-in protest to get her back. They stay overnight. The principal eventually gives her a call. She comes back. The principal's like, hey, you proved me wrong. They love you. In this protest lock-in, we find out that Cash identifies as asexual. He explains to Darren that he's just not interested in sex. And it's kind of like, I just want to be friends with you. Don't want to lose that. And so they agree to be friends. We also find out that Dusty was the one who made the allegation because he was trying to get everyone out of class, which are you 8? You can't be that dumb to think that that would go the way you thought it would go. Amory's pissed at him. She realizes, he mentions the party situation. She realizes that Harper ran in to save her. So she goes to find Harper, I'm assuming, to be like, you know, well, I want to, like, let's be friends again. And finds her bloodied. Episode 8, we get the full story of why Harper just wanted to stop being friends with Amory. So basically, they go to the rave. Harper tells Amory she wants to sleep at her house. She doesn't know about her dad. Turns out her dad is mentally ill, but it seems also on drugs. And I guess he was getting bad and she saw it coming, so she wanted to sleep at her house. They get into like a little fight at this festival they go to, basically because Amory wants to take these drugs and Harper does not, obviously, because of the situation with her dad. So they fight, they separate, Harper gets wasted, and then Cash's psycho criminal friend and his boys take her into their car. So she comes to in the car. Cash is there. They're basically planning on assaulting her. Cash secretly unlocks the car and gets her out of the situation. She tries to run to Amory's house. Amory is attempting to hook up with Spider. So when Harper knocks, she's embarrassed, so she doesn't let her in. She doesn't know about her dad though. So Harper has to go back home. Her dad is in his mode. He thinks she's an intruder. I think it seems like he has schizophrenia, because he assumes she's some intruder trying to kill him. So he's trying to kill her, literally. So she locked herself in her room. The cops are called, I guess, in the morning to check on her. And so she is put in foster care for a bit while her dad gets help. So she comes back when her dad's better, but like she's all jacked up because of everything that happened that day. Also, when she was getting out of the car to escape, they pulled a patch of her hair out. It's why she shaves her hair off. So she's just struggling with everything from that and blames Amory for not letting her in that night. So in this, she finds out why Amory didn't let her in the Spider situation, and she's like, girl. And then the night before, I forgot to mention, her dad starts using again. She starts noticing it. That's why she's like to blame. She's kind of like, I had nothing to lose. Like, I was over it. So the dad tries to attack her again, and she has to stab him with a knife. Her dad's okay. She's now staying with Amory. Amory wants to convince her to press charges against these guys, but she's like, nothing's gonna happen. There's no evidence, blah, blah, blah. Because they go to the police, and the police are basically like, it's gonna be hard if there's no evidence. She's just like, forget this. I told you. We get a scene where Amory's talking to Cash and about the whole Harper situation, and she's like, why wouldn't you stop it? He's just basically like, I knew that if I tried to stop it, they would just beat me up and leave me there, and she would still be SOL. So he went with them and took the opportunity to save her. So Cash basically explains like he did what he could do to save her. He also finds out that they can't press charges because there was no evidence. And in that conversation, Amory tells him to just stay away from Darren because clearly he's not good for him. Darren goes to confess his love to Cash. Cash tells him like, let's just stop. Leave it alone. Let's stop wasting each other's time. And he leaves. Cash does that to keep him safe. And he also creates a plan to get this evidence for Harper. So the evidence he's able to get her is a video one of his friends recorded showing her in the car passed out and everyone in the car. Now the thing was, Cook, who's the main guy, the psycho that like beat him up and all that, like the ringleader of this situation, was not in the video. So they couldn't get him. And he's kind of like the main, you know, person. Like she feels like the other ones just kind of went along with it. Not that they're any better, but you get what I'm saying. So the police arrest all the guys, including Cash, because Cash was in the video. Cash is like on his way home. He was skipping school. The cops are at the door, and the grandma sees him and tells him to run. He runs to the school and confesses to Darren that he loves him, and it's adorable. God bless him. Hoping next season they like fast forward and he's already out or whatever, or he doesn't get charged. There's a scene of Harper, Amory, Quinn, Darren, and Malachi up at these rocks at the beach, and they're kind of all just, you know, speaking of like what's going on, how everyone's feeling. Darren's sad about the Cash situation because he does get arrested after confessing his love. And you know, Harper's like, I hope he gets out. So I feel like that means that he'll get out. Maybe she'll be able to say like, hey, he didn't do anything. It ends with them like jumping into the water to like cleanse themselves and kind of just like let go of everything that's happened. Then we end with Amory and Harper burning Cook's car. It explodes and he sees them running off. Hopefully that doesn't mean too much for next season. I don't know. I hope he's just done and caught. I don't even want to see them like, you know, being unsafe because of him. I've seen enough. I want a show where like moments of contention, it's just like they're solved quickly and then you're right back to feel good. That's what I want. A little bit of drama that's quickly wrapped up. Anywho, hope you guys enjoyed my recap and review. I'm very excited for a season 2. I cannot wait to see what happens. I hope Cash is out and him and Darren get to live their happy lives. Like the video, comment down below. I want to know who your favorite character was. Subscribe for more content like this, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!